Hi, does the thought of your child getting a concussion scare you? It certainly scares me. And youth athletes in many different sports, from cheerleading to hockey, rugby, soccer, football, can suffer from concussions at one point or another. In today's webinar, I'm going to share with you some nutrition tips and some foods that you want to include in your player's diet when they are healing from a concussion, and foods that you do not want to include in their diet. Hi, my name is Kimberly Smith-Lucard. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a mom of two boys who do play ice hockey. They are 13 and 14. I'm a college nutrition professor. I'm an author of Eat, Skate, Win, 7 Steps for Your Youth Hockey Star to Eat Like a Champion. And I'm a speaker. And today I'm thrilled that you're spending time with me so that I can help you shed some light on this scary topic and how you can learn to use food as a part of the toolbox in helping your youth athlete heal from a concussion. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some slides now, and so bear with me as I move with technology to my screen share. And I'm going to backtrack to make sure I'm on the right slide for you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so no one wants a concussion. That goes without saying. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. Bad technology blunder there. Okay, let's start again. All right, screen share. Screen share. Come on, screen share. There we go. Screen share. Okay, I'm not going to try to minimize. I'm just going to stay on the slide that I was on. Believe it or not, 1.6 to 3.8 million concussions occur a year, it's estimated, with youth athletes. Football players, as you probably would guess, sustain the majority of these reported concussions, but other high collision sports such as rugby, ice hockey, and soccer are also at risk for receiving concussions. I remember when my sons started playing hockey and they were 6 and 8, and I would tell friends I was really excited that they were going to start playing, and their response was always, oh my gosh, it's such a dangerous sport, all that checking, they could get hurt, or worse yet, get a concussion. So while these numbers might seem great and scary and a cause for concern, know that there's a lot that we can do with our youth athletes to help prevent concussions and to help them heal from concussions. I know in hockey, because that's the sport I know the best, we teach our skaters to skate with their heads up so that they know where they are going and they see what's coming at them. Football players are more likely to sustain concussions than any other sport, but believe it or not, girls are more likely than boys to sustain a concussion when they're playing similar sports. In a study in 2011, they looked at female soccer players, and they found out that the girls were 68% higher at receiving concussions than the young boys. And in basketball, 1.7 times higher in the young girls playing basketball compared with the boys playing basketball at the same age. Lacrosse also has its share of concussions, with girls going to the emergency room 18.7% more, 18.7% visits to the emergency room for girls compared to 15.6% of boys. And if you've ever watched a college lacrosse game, I know the first time I saw one was last year. I was amazed at how aggressive the sport was and the fact that the young women didn't wear helmets, whereas the young men do wear helmets at the college level. So you may be asking yourself, why do girls suffer from concussions at a higher rate than boys? And a study of collegiate soccer players found that girls have smaller heads, about 23% smaller, and their neck muscles are less developed and not as strong, so they're not able to withstand the impact. Girls are also much more likely to self-report their symptoms when compared with boys. And the research shows that girls are just a little bit more on top of the feelings that they get. Not that boys aren't, but girls are more likely to report. So when your youth ice hockey player sustains a concussion during a game, their doctor, their physician, is the first line of defense. You must assess the severity of the concussion right away. I'm sure that comes as no surprise. Concussions not only impact the time that they're going to be off the ice, but it also impacts their ability to perform in the classroom and just to feel good all over. I know if you're listening and you have a youth ice hockey player or players, you've probably seen young athletes that have received concussions, and maybe even your son or daughter has lived through one and recovered from one also. Time and time again, I've seen young players get back on the ice too soon. And while this isn't part of my nutrition talk, I just want to put it out there as a caution as to not get back on the ice too soon. Make sure that your player is ready to play the game at 100%. And nutrition can help them do that. Omega-3 fatty acids are very, very important. Literally, the cells of the cell walls in the brain are made of omega-3 fatty acids. So I'm sure you have heard that I'm sorry, I have cats walking all over my desk. Omega-3 fats are good for your heart and for your brain, but the research shows that omega-3s help with balance, to restore balance, and have helped some patients with depression symptoms and even suicidal thoughts. Omega-3s are literally the bricks of the cell walls in the brain. And in traumatic brain injury, which of course concussions are considered traumatic brain injury, the brain swells and nerve cells can't communicate anymore. So the theory is that the omega-3s, because they're an essential fat, can help rebuild the damaged nerves, reduce inflammation, and keep the nerve cells from dying. Dr. Michael Lewis is a former Army colonel and an omega-3 researcher, if you wanted to look up more information on this. It is also hypothesized that consumption of omega-3s on a daily basis may help the brain to be more resilient by forming a lubricant for the brain, but more research is needed. But it goes without saying that consuming omega-3 fatty acids on a daily basis will help your player with their focus and their reaction time on the ice, as well as their performance in the classroom. So now I'm sure you're thinking, I know fish is a food that's rich in omega-3s, but I would like to also shed some light on some other choices of food, just in case your player doesn't like fish, maybe they're allergic to fish, or perhaps they've decided to become a vegetarian and they're trying out a vegan diet. So here are some foods, obviously fish, and the fish that are rich in omega-3s, your salmon, halibut, oysters, sardines, trout, tuna, fresh or canned in water, herring, mackerel. Your player could also choose from some grass-fed beef, edamames, those are the sesame seed, the soybeans, excuse me, in the pod, and then some of these, the flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, winter squash, wild rice, berries, leafy greens, mango, and honeydew melons. And if your players like smoothies like my players do, I was at my favorite smoothie place this morning, Tropical Smoothie in town, And I decided to ask them how much flaxseed they put in their shakes. So you don't always have to have, flax seeds added, but you can have vitamin C added, you can have proteins, they have a bunch of different additives. So if you have a smoothie place in your town, this would be a great way to help your player get some omega-3s during the day and have a yummy smoothie. According to what I found online, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed contains 1,597 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, which is very, very good. And you'll see why in just a minute. Now, there are foods that you want to avoid. You want to avoid fried foods, sugary rich foods. Many individuals report that sugar foods and chocolate increase headaches. Salty foods, caffeine, artificial colors, and alcohol. So let me go back to why I was so impressed with the amount of omega-3s that are in your in that 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. So you know that omega-3s are beneficial for brain health, and you know that omega-3s are great in helping your player heal from a concussion, but maybe you're asking yourself, how many milligrams of omega-3 does my youth athlete need a day? And it's going to be based on their age. According to the Institute of Medicine, children ranging in age from 1 to 3, so hopefully they wouldn't be sustaining a concussion, but if they fell, you never know. So children ages 1 to 3 need 700 milligrams of omega-3s each day. Young children between the ages of 4 and 8 need 900 milligrams a day. So right now in the age group 4 to 8, we're talking about the mini mites or the mites. Girls between the ages of 9 and 13 require 1,000 milligrams of omega-3s each day. Girls between the ages of 14 to 18 need 1,100 milligrams each of omega-3s each day. Boys between the ages of 9 and 13 need 1,200 milligrams of omega-3s each day. And older boys between the ages of 14 and 18 need at least 1,600 milligrams of omega-3s each day. So these are the minimums that we need to shoot for with our children. And the scary thing is, in the United States, most children consume 100 milligrams or less of omega-3 fatty acids, according to an article in Today's Dietitian. And that's very scary. And if your child is one of these children who's not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids each day in their diet, and they're playing a sport like ice hockey or soccer or football or any sport that's going to expose them to the risk of concussion, please take a long look at the list of foods that are very, very beneficial and try to add them in their diet throughout the day. And then really take a hard look at the foods to avoid to make sure that they are not eating too many. Because really, when you think about the fast food industry and how quick and easy it is for us to go through the drive-through, we may unwillingly be giving our kids too many of the foods to avoid, which would not benefit them when they're trying to heal. Healing takes time. So if your youth athlete sustains a concussion, seek medical attention as soon as possible. Follow the advice of the physician and include omega-3 fatty acid rich foods in your player's meal plan each day, and avoid the foods on the avoid list. One of the things that I had said to avoid was artificial colors. And if you registered for this very short webinar, your name has already been put in the drawing for a youth nutrition hydration basket that I'm going to be giving out next week. It features the Infinite Nutrition Youth Elite Sports Drink. It's called the 2D1 Elite Fuel for Growing Athletes. When I'm done with my slides, I'll show you a picture of the product. My sons love it. They've been using it for the past 2 to 3 years. And the best thing about this, no high fructose corn syrup and no artificial colors. So it would be a wonderful product to look at for hydrating your athlete all the time. Something to think about, as I tell my college students, be an educated consumer. Start reading your food labels. Really look at all the cereals, the crackers, even the protein bars. Choose foods with natural dyes and choose sports drinks without artificial colors. And don't forget, make sure, I know your son or daughter is going to be so anxious to get back on the ice, but make sure they have 100% clearance before they get back on the ice. I want to thank you for spending time with me today in this short, kind of stumbling to get started webinar. I apologize about that. If you have any comments you'd like to share with me, feel free to email me at kim@hockeymomrd.com. Connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. I'm listed as HockeyMomRD. And you can check out my website at www.hockeymomrd.com. I am going to switch off screen share on purpose now, and I'll show you the packet. Where is it? So here it is. It's Infinite Nutrition. So if you win the basket that I'm putting together, you will win 12 of these packets, which would be wonderful starter for your team or for your youth athletes. So if you're listening to the replay, yes, your name will be included in the drawing. And then I will be holding a webinar next week, maybe the same time, it might be a different day. But if you keep a check on my Facebook account, you'll see the link go up as to when I'm going to be holding the webinar on artificial colors. So a lot more information about why we need to avoid them, why we need to encourage our youth athletes and our children to avoid them for overall health. So I thank you for coming today, and make it a great one. Bye-bye.